Hola, muy buenas a todos, jugones y jugonas, bienvenidos a mi canal, vuestro canal, bienvenidos a una nueva serie, bienvenidos a una nueva aventura, bienvenidos a Premonition 2, juego desarrollado por Toybox Inc., distribuido por Rising Star Games y que salió al mercado el pasado 10 de julio de este año 2020 para Nintendo Switch. Es exclusivo de la consola de Nintendo, así que no lo busquéis en otra consola porque no lo vais a encontrar. Vale, un título que me apetecía mucho jugar. Jugué el primer juego de esta saga, ya se puede considerar saga puesto que esta es la continuación. Y un juego al que les llevaba siguiendo la pista desde que lo anunciaron. Por fin le tengo en mis manos y os lo voy a ofrecer para todos vosotros aquí en el canal, ya sabéis, por capítulos. Espero que lo disfrutéis conmigo y que pasemos un muy buen rato, unas muy buenas tardes, mañanas, noches, depende de cuándo lo queráis ver, con este, espero que fantástico, Premonition. Vale, poniendo un poquito en situación, no sé mucho de la historia porque no me he querido spoilear demasiado en cuanto a la trama, pero sé que volvemos a encarnar al mismo protagonista del primero. Si no sabéis de qué va el primero o quién es el protagonista, os aconsejo que lo miréis por Google y os informéis un poquito para no tener que enrollarme, o lo podía decir yo, pero para no tener que enrollarme demasiado y que se haga demasiado largo esta introducción, pues lo busquéis vosotros y ya está, no pasa nada. No va a tener mucho que ver la historia porque esta historia ocurre justo antes del primero y no tiene nada que ver con la historia del primero. Es una especie de precuela sin ser precuela. No sé si me ha quedado, o sea, no sé si me he explicado bien y os ha quedado muy claro. Pero bueno, el protagonista, sigue siendo el mismo, es un agente del FBI, Jan Francis George Morgan. Y bueno, pues tenemos que resolver unos crímenes que están sucediendo en una ciudad ficticia. Así que, bueno, pues como digo, no me quiero enrollar mucho más, sé mucho más de la historia. Vais a ver que es un juego muy peculiar en todos los aspectos, ya no solamente en el apartado gráfico, también en el apartado jugable y en cuanto a los personajes que salgan en el juego, que son muy extraños, por decirlo de alguna manera. Pero ya veréis cómo acabáis empatizando con ellos, sobre todo con el protagonista que es pues como digo, el auténtico protagonista, valga la redundancia del juego. Así que vale, sin más dilación, vamos a empezar este Premonition 2 en 3, 2, 1. 30 de diciembre de 2018. Le Carré, afueras de Nueva Orleans. ...88 horas después. Thompson, afuera de Boston, Massachusetts.
God damn it. What a way to start the new year. At this rate, I'll be dead by Easter.
Quiet down, Agent Jones. You're on the clock.
Quiet down? Ha! You have any idea what you've done? I'd be half naked in Havana right now if you hadn't shown up. Soaking up some rays, surrounded by a harem of bikini queens, a mojito in one hand, and a seafood-slathered Havana-style pizza in the other. What did I do to deserve this? Does God hate me?
No. The Regional Bureau Chief merely issued a special order.
Oh. Yeah. How could I forget? A special order to rob me of my well-deserved vacation.
You want pizza? I'll buy you some pizza. You can find that junk anywhere.
Whoa! Hey! Hold on a minute. What did you just say? Pizza is not junk. Pizza is a sacred food, bestowed upon us by God himself. You need to apologize right now. This is sheer blasphemy.
Apologize to who? Pizza or God?
Ha ha! You think you're so clever. If you'd eaten pizza this morning like a decent person, you wouldn't have cut your finger.
I only cut my finger because I couldn't find a left-handed can opener at the hotel. Normally I would never make such an amateur mistake.
Oh, really? Well, if you want me to get into gear, then just feed me some pizza, okay?
We must act unfaithfully and abandon our ideals again and again. We cannot advance from one period of life into another without causing these pains of treachery.
Nietzsche, again, please spare me, before my ears start to bleed. Ever since the moment you got here, it's been nothing but Nietzsche quotes.
The worst enemy you can meet will always be yourself.
I said knock it off. I prefer pizza to philosophy. Want me to dial the number for you?
Agent Jones, it's time to get serious. Your 4.5 years of hard work are finally about to pay off, and all you're focused on is this nonsense?
Pizza isn't nonsense.
Quiet.
As you wish, Mother. My lips are sealed. Happy now.
Bueno, parece que ya han dejado de charlar. Hostia, no puedo girar la cámara. Vale, dejarme los controles un momentito. Vale, X nada, Y nada, B nada, A nada, LR nada, ZR nada, tampoco. El stick derecho. Ah, sí puedo. No puedo. El stick derecho lo único que ha hecho ha sido centrar la cámara. Y con el stick izquierdo pues solo puedo moverme. Y con el pad de control tampoco, no puedo hacer. De momento no puedo hacer nada. Bueno, ya habéis visto que el diálogo ha sido una chorrada. Ahí hablando de pizza, no sé a qué venía, pero bueno, muy... No sé, me ha recordado un poco a los diálogos que tienen los personajes en las películas de Quentin Tarantino. Un poco, no sé, que a veces son un poco chorras, son intrascendentes. Pero mola escucharlos. No sé, acabas divirtiéndote con ellos, la verdad. Y bueno, de momento pues poco sabemos. Estas dos personas que son agentes del FBI por lo que veo. Y deben de estar intentando resolver pues, el caso de esa muchacha que hemos visto ahí descuartizada, metida en el bloque de hielo. Vale, va directamente. Sí. Va directamente a la puerta, no puedo hacer nada más.
Agent Jones, don't let him take control of the conversation. The moment you let your guard down, he'll strike. And no red, remember?
It's open. Come on in.
¿Francis Sack Morgan? ¿Qué? ¿Qué demonios? Canuto que no falte, ¿eh? Canuto de María.
You have questions for us. That's why you're here, isn't it?
Francis Sack Morgan. Bueno, ahora os explico un poco los personajes. Al menos este personaje. ¿Ya? ¿Puedo moverme? Sí, pero va directo, ¿eh? No... No puedo mover la cámara. No sé, de momento no puedo hacer nada. Colgar el abrigo. Vale. Le carré.
Mr. Morgan, before we question you, allow me to first read you your rights. Anything you say may be used against you in a court of law. Please keep that in mind as you speak. Do we have permission to film this?
Aliyah Davis.
Don't worry, my fairy. They're free to do whatever they like.
Something wrong, Mr. Morgan? I'm FBI Special Agent Aliyah Davis, and this is...
Simon Jones. An analyst from the Boston branch. He's been monitoring us for years now.
Oh, hi.
Simon Jones.
Seriously.
A Southern belle and a lonesome loser who can't catch a break. Quite the uncanny duo. You'd be the perfect stars for the latest video game. Isn't that right, my fairy? How many years has it been since someone came to chat with us? Oh, but don't ask me about my fairy. That's a private matter.
It's hard to tell what he's thinking, but my eyes can't be deceived.
Vale. ¿Y ahora qué?
If he's hiding something, it'll come out in his face.
Mirar, revisar, interrogar. Mantén pulsado L. Para mirar, ¿no? Galardones torcidos. A ver. Hostia, qué curioso, tío. Hierba de Zack. A ver.
Letters of appreciation from the governor and the Department of Justice. They're caked in dust as if he doesn't even care about them.
No, parece que no le importa lo más mínimo. No parece que haya mucho más. Por lo que veo, cuando activamos esta especie de visión detectivesca, por decirlo de alguna manera, en la parte superior izquierda, si veis en el ojo ese, hay varias barras. Se van reduciendo las barras. Eso quiere decir que nos quedamos sin visión para poder detectar cualquier cosa que veamos fuera de lo común. Vale, mirar, hierba de Zack.
Smell. It doesn't surprise me at this point, but it'll be problematic in court if they decide his testimony is unreliable.
Vale, tiene...
I won't get another chance to talk to him face to face like this. I need to get him to stop smoking that for a bit.
Vale, tengo que hacer que deje de fumar hierba. Y por lo que estoy viendo yo, sin poner la visión detectivesca, ahora la pondré. Tiene la casa hecha un puto desastre. Un desastre, vamos. Por lo que veo es un fan de las películas, tiene lleno de películas. Le gusta el ajedrez, vale, perfecto. Tiene el sofá que da asco, donde está sentado el compañero de la chica. Y... no sé. No se ve mucho más fuera de lo común. Parece que hay un triángulo ahí en la mesa. Pero no sé si será de algo que había. Porque veis que no está lleno de polvo. Vamos a mirar a ver. La hierba de Zack. Tampoco hay mucho más. Estoicismo de Zack. ¿Qué demonios?
Francis Zach Morgan. He was once an FBI special agent, an extremely talented one. At least that's what they tell me. Perhaps he was a little too talented.
No hay mucho más. Si me voy aquí, ya voy a los galardones. Estoicismo y hierba. Y poco más. Vale, pues venga, a revisar.
Hey, Belle. Why are you dressed so handsomely?
What are you talking about?
Bueno, y antes de continuar, hay que presionar el botón para que salga la siguiente frase. No es automático. Los diálogos no son automáticos. No van saliendo uno detrás de otro, evidentemente. Salen, pero le tienes que dar al botón. Antes de continuar, Francis Zach Morgan, ese hombre mayor que estáis sentado, es el protagonista del primer juego. Se llamaba Francis George Morgan y tenía un alter ego al que llamaba Zack. Se ponía a hablar con él y la gente que tenía alrededor suyo pues se quedaba flipando, viéndole hablar solo, por así decirlo. Él hablaba con su alter ego que le respondía, mantenía conversaciones con él. Los demás flipaban. Pero bueno, él lo tenía y ya está. Y tuvo cierta relevancia o cierta importancia en el desarrollo del primer juego. El primer juego que, vuelvo a repetir, os aconsejo que le echéis un vistazo para que veáis cómo es. Si podéis jugarle porque de verdad es una pasada. La historia es una obra de arte, sinceramente. Ya no tanto el juego en sí mismo en cuanto a calidad gráfica o jugabilidad, porque es bastante malo. De hecho, este juego, si lo veis, esta continuación, se ve bien, se ve bonito y tal, está muy mejorado con respecto al 1, por supuesto, pero no se adapta a lo que estamos acostumbrados a ver en las consolas de esta generación, ni siquiera en Nintendo Switch. Hay ports de juegos muy buenos como Wolfenstein, por ejemplo, o Doom para Nintendo Switch que se ven de lujo, se ven de hecho, el The Witcher 3, que yo le tengo para Nintendo Switch, se ve de lujo. Evidentemente no es igual que el de PlayStation 4, por ejemplo, o el de PC, pero se ve de lujo, se ve incluso mejor que este. Se sigue viendo incluso hasta cutre a día de hoy para lo que es la Nintendo Switch y lo que da de sí. Pero bueno, está hecho así a posta el juego, ¿eh? No es que hayan querido, no sé, o que no tuviesen presupuesto para hacerlo. No, el juego está hecho así a posta, en referencia o con cariño, llamadlo como queráis, al primer juego. ¿De acuerdo? El primer juego que en teoría iba a salir para PlayStation 2, se retrasó por los motivos que fuesen y acabó saliendo para PlayStation 3 y Xbox 360. De ahí el aspecto tan malo y tan cutre, por así decirlo, que tiene el primer juego con respecto a la potencia de esas dos consolas. Y comparándolo con juegos como Halo, por ejemplo, o God of War. Vale, vamos a seguir con la historia.
The thick black accessory wrapped around your neck.
Perdonadme por enrollarme un poco, pero quería que lo supieseis, quería matizar el asunto.
That's a male necktie. The color black represents confidence and interest in the self. And your decision to wear a male tie symbolizes your declaration of war against, or perhaps it's a psychological barrier meant to hide the weakness that dwells deep within your psyche. We admire your bravery.
I thought you retired from profiling.
Bueno, ya habéis visto que la está psicoanalizando, por así decirlo, a la chica. Francis George Morgan era un detective, bueno, ya lo habéis oído la chica, un detective buenísimo, de hecho de los mejores detectives en cuanto a resolver casos raros, crímenes de asesinos en serie. Y era muy bueno, se creaba él su perfil cuando iba a la escena del crimen y a partir de ahí pues lo enlazaba todo.
Bullseye, huh?
Y era muy bueno.
You're an easy one to read.
In order to think with society, a man must first gouge out his eyes and cut off his ears. Don't judge a book by its cover. For someone who's supposed to have been one of our best, you've got an awful eye for people. Or did all that smoke and kill all your little gray cells?
Okay, Aaliyah, that's enough. She's smart, but she's also more of a shrew than she lets on.
Y el otro, bon pringao, no me fastidia.
Agent Jones, that's sexual harassment.
Pues sí, ahí te sobra un poco, tío.
So, Belle, does that barrier of yours also protect you from violent criminals?
He's more dangerous than I thought. I can't read him. I'll just have to assault him head on with questions then. First, I'll try using the files on the table to shake him up.
Lo que no sé es por qué vienen a interrogarle. Sospechoso de algún asesinato, no lo entiendo, no sé por qué. Vale, mirada vacía de Zack.
Stage 4 progressive malignant tumor.
¿Tumor maligno? ¿En serio?
How do humans behave when they know death is just around the corner?
Hostia, no me jodas.
And what if that human is also a high-functioning sociopath?
De ahí la hierba, tal vez. Partida de ajedrez a medias y el informe. Caso Le Carré.
An ornate antique chessboard. Looks like he stopped halfway through the game.
¿Quién estaría jugando con él? Pues me imagino que pues su alter ego. Supongo. Vale, caso Le Carré.
These files are from the case that took place just outside of New Orleans in 2005. The agent who handled the case was Francis Zach Morgan. And now he's sitting right in front of me.
Vale, ya está.
Mr. Morgan, may I ask you a question purely out of curiosity? If it makes you uncomfortable, just let me know. And I'll retract it.
Belle, what's wrong? You sure put a lot of effort into that approach.
It's a question about death.
About this body?
Are you afraid of what's coming?
Think carefully about why we're smoking this, then ask us again. Honestly, we're not afraid. Rather, we find it intriguing.
Intriguing.
Yes.
Yes. Belle, have you ever been to the Grand Canyon in winter?
No.
In the dead of winter, the Grand Canyon is terribly cold. Cold you could imagine. A cold that no photograph could ever express. The sun. Powerless. And the temperature drops below zero, right in the middle of the day.
Meaning?
Meaning, you can't really understand something. If you want to learn more about us, you need Belle.
Vale, sexto sentido. Tu sexto sentido te será de mucha ayuda para encontrar pistas que te ayuden a avanzar en el juego. Mantén pulsado L para utilizarlo, vale, sí. El sexto sentido hace que la concentración baje, así que utilízalo solo cuando sea necesario. Bueno, la concentración, lo del ojo ese que os he dicho antes, de la parte superior izquierda. Concentración, vale, de acuerdo, perfecto. Pues...
These files are from the agent who handled the case, and now he's sitting right...
Sí. A ver. Tampoco veo mucho más. A ver, partida de ajedrez. No, tío, no veo mucho más. No sé. Interrogar.
That chessboard looks rather old. And you can't even buy those ivory pieces anymore.
Right. They were banned by the CITES Treaty.
That was made in France in the 1900s. We know it's in bad taste, but the weight of the ivory just feels so good in our hands.
You play chess alone?
Is that a crime?
No. But it's a hard game to enjoy when you're all by yourself.
He's probably just replicating famous games. Or trying to solve problems from a chess workbook. Right, Morgan? I may not look it, but I'm actually a bit of a chess nut myself. When I was in school, I used to pore over every issue of Chess Life, the magazine published by the U.S. Chess Federation.
Unfortunately, your guess is completely wrong, Agent Jones. He isn't replicating a famous game, nor is he solving workbook problems. There isn't a single chess book to be found in this apartment. And I didn't find any chess-related websites in his internet history. He was simply playing chess. All...
So... what's wrong with that, Belle?
I don't understand it. How could a single human being seriously play as both sides?
You just publicly confessed to stealing personal data. Seems like that's a much bigger problem.
Está pillado, ¿eh?
Oh no. Everything was done in a perfectly legal manner. We simply happened to intercept a handful of data being sent out from an unknown origin.
Ooh, now she's really trying to scare us. Did you hear that, my fairy? Serious nightmare fuel.
Hada mía. Vale, caso le carré. Ya no hay más. No voy a usar el sexto sentido porque es que no me va a salir nada.
Do you remember the homicides that took place in Le Carre, Louisiana in 2005?
We solved that case.
Your report states the following. By coincidence, you encountered a serious incident in a town you visited while on vacation. You then decided to steal the right to investigate from the local law enforcement and took over the case. After several more homicides, you managed to apprehend the perpetrator.
We stole the right to investigate from them, just as you said.
It all started when the body of a 16-year-old girl was discovered. You arrived in Le Carre immediately after that, didn't you?
We just can't seem to keep ourselves away from dead girls.
Did you really visit that town just to take a vacation?
We don't know. If you already have the report, then we suggest you read it, Belle. Either way, that case is closed.
Closed? You sure about that? Don't you think this puzzle is still missing some crucial pieces?
Come on. No need to beat around the bush with us, Belle.
Se parece mucho al
They
caso
found
del
Lise
primer juego.
Clarkson's body. It was hidden deep within the Clarkson Food Delivery Services cold storage.
After 14 years, we finally discovered the body of the very first one.
14 años después, toma ya.
Do you know what this means? That's why we're here. The first victim in the case he solved, Lise Clarkson. This is a photograph of what she looks like now. How will he... The body that went missing for 14 years was suddenly discovered frozen in a warehouse. This is some kind of message from the victim to us.
We're pleased that her body turned up. Deeply pleased.
You claim to have closed this case, but now a lost body suddenly surfaced. Aren't you curious about the details?
O sea que resolvió el caso, este caso concretamente, pero por lo que veo no encontró el cuerpo de la primera víctima. Y ha aparecido ahora 14 años después.
Body or not, we already solved that case.
Hombre, eso es verdad, el caso está resuelto.
Lisa's body can't change anything now.
Pero no sé.
And it certainly has nothing to do with us.
I suspect the body was stored there rather than abandoned, due to the unnatural state it was found in. She was found frozen in a storage unit. Therefore, she looks exactly the same as she did when she disappeared. In fact, she's in such good condition that we can even determine the murder weapon and cause of death.
Well, good for you.
Even stranger is how unbelievably beautiful she looks. At first glance, few would guess she was a murder victim at all. She looks more like a piece of art, or a mythological figure from a painting.
This keeps getting better and better.
Better and better?
Isn't that right, my fairy? A corpse as beautiful as a goddess. Sounds just like our story.
Sí.
Yes. Yes.
Sí, se recuerda mucho a...
That went okay.
Juego.
Now I'm sure that Morgan's hiding something. I may be able to get what I want if we go deeper into the documents.
No sé, revisar. Es que... o mirar.
A halfway finished check. I think he was playing both sides by himself.
Ambos colores el mismo.
If it was merely for entertainment, it wouldn't be a
Solo para
problem. But I know that every action he takes has its own special purpose, especially now that his remaining time is limited.
Revisar. No, revisar la partida.
Who is it? This my fairy character you keep speaking to.
You can't see her? Such bad manners. You barge into our apartment, yet you don't even care about who else is living here.
Dissociative identity disorder. In the past, it was known as multiple personality disorder. You were subjected to an internal probe only once during your career, correct? They suspected that you had DID, but you denied it. And no problems arose during your test. Is this how you dealt with the psychological profiler back then, too? Saying strange things, weaving unrelated matters together. Is that how you slipped through?
You're free to draw your own conclusions, Belle. But my fairy clearly exists. She's been sitting right there, on your lap this entire time. Hey! Stop it! No violence allowed in here, Belle. Wouldn't want to scare my fairy, now would we?
Uf, se le va bastante la flapa, a Francis.
He didn't so much as twitch when he saw the picture of the body. He's even tougher than the rumors made him out to be. But I was prepared for that. And if my hunch is right, he's deeply intertwined with this case. Far deeper than what my superiors think.
Vale, revisar.
You may be wondering why we decided to unearth all these old files.
Everything happens for a reason.
The moment Lise Clarkson's body was found, we did the best we could to start our own local investigation. But there wasn't much we could actually investigate due to the damage caused by the hurricane.
Then we assume you also questioned everyone who worked in the warehouse.
Of course. We questioned all the Clarkson Food Delivery Services employees who staffed the warehouse, but we still have yet to obtain any key testimonies.
Par for the course with a 14-year-old case, if you ask me.
Añacos.
Not to mention how bad the timing was. Most of the employees were on vacation.
So, you gave up on the investigation and came to see us instead. Remember what happened, Mary? That warehouse. That man. So incoherent. Such a pain.
Hey, are you talking about the guy who managed the vault where Lisa's body was found? Yeah, I think he started working there in 2005. Remember, Aaliyah? You said he was a pain to deal with, too.
Vale.
No need to answer. If you don't want to.
Saltado demasiado rápido, no sé lo que ha dicho.
I'm sure you've already put him under surveillance. Textbook FBI protocol.
Vale.
The person who originally admitted this report was his superior, Robert Abrahams, current chief of the Boston branch. According to Chief Abrahams, Morgan's got his own modus operandi. It's not something that others should... Well, Chief, look what that's gotten us into now.
Vale, revisar.
Isn't there someone else you should have talked to before coming to us?
We were unable to reach Patricia Clarkson. You look surprised. I thought you already knew. After all, you visited Louisiana last week. We assumed you met with her during your time there.
We haven't been to Louisiana. Not in 14 years.
Is that so?
We've been right here in our apartment this entire time. That man is our witness. Aren't you, Simon?
He's right. He didn't even take a single step outside on Christmas Eve. Which means that I didn't get to either.
Are you positive about that? I took the liberty of checking some airline records. Last Friday, the name Billy Bishop was listed on a morning flight out of Boston. This is the fake name you used to use as an agent, isn't it?
¿Ah, sí?
A mere coincidence.
Yet that's not all. That evening on the same day, a man with a large scar on his forehead allegedly purchased an '89 Cadillac from a small used car lot in Le Carré. He reportedly said he wanted something old, big, and strong. The owner of the car lot felt it was a strange order, so it stuck in his mind.
Our world is filled with mysteries. And they always have the most bizarre timing.
Bueno, hubiese sido tan sencillo como enseñarle la foto, ¿no? Es este hombre, Zack, sí, ya está. Ya le tiene.
On the following day, an identical Cadillac was taken to a scrapyard in Trenton, New Jersey.
You can find that type of car anywhere. Isn't that right, my fairy?
Morgan's right. Even this messy room. There must be a reason for it, especially when it comes to those strangely tidy spots. They're practically begging me to question them.
Vale, más cosas. Tenemos, mira, las películas, colección enorme de DVD.
DVDs are all over the place. I know that he's a shut-in, but this still seems like way too many for one person. And I've never heard of any of these titles before.
Tenemos la marca que os había dicho yo, el triángulo, superficie limpiada a fondo.
This room's a total mess. But certain spots look... Is it just a coincidence? No. There are no coincidences with this man.
Y las bolsas de gotero vacías. Mierda.
Poly-MVA supplements.
Ah, coño.
And a home IV kit. It's probably filled with highly concentrated vitamin C. He said that being on the verge of death is intriguing. How does he truly feel?
Pues sí que está realmente jodido, sí. Vale, colección enorme de DVDs. Revisar.
A stinking indulgence. And a massive DVD collection. You must live a very comfortable life.
We're retired, remember?
Retired in your 40s. I'm envious.
40 y pico? ¿En serio? Se parece que tiene 80.
But who doesn't love movies, Belle?
I'm not a fan.
Oh, that won't do. You should dedicate all the free time you have to watching movies. Films guide us. Films are filled with every important life lesson there is.
Is that so?
For example, They Live, 1988, directed by John Carpenter. That film taught us a valuable lesson. Always put on your sunglasses before a fight.
You know, you've got a point. Movies teach us about everything we need to know.
Joder, siguen con la referencia de las películas, igual que en el primero. Muy bueno, tío, muy bueno. Muy buena película, ¿no? La de esta película.
I learned about the right way to eat frozen pizza from Cobra. It's one of Stallone's best films. Before that, I wouldn't be caught dead trying to eat frozen pizza. I thought it wasn't fit for human consumption. But that film changed my life.
Simon, that has nothing to do with the film. You're just talking about pizza.
Vale, superficie limpiada a fondo.
Mr. Morgan, I found several spots in this room that look strangely clean. Did you tidy up a bit because you knew we were coming?
Those are... they've existed from the start.
Sanctuaries.
That's right. Sacred places. Hovels for pure souls, if you will.
Were there originally objects in those hovels? Something you didn't want us to see?
The soul's still there. We haven't touched a thing. But we know you can't see anything. Hey, Simon, don't touch the sanctuary.
Sorry.
Te iba a meter mano.
That's a sanctuary. Don't ever touch it again. You've been watching us for 4.5 years, and you couldn't even figure that much out?
My bad. It's my first time actually coming inside, you know.
You're earning far more than you deserve, then. What were you doing all day in that black Suburban? We thought wiretapping was your specialty. Don't tell me. Crossword puzzles. What do you think, my fairy? 4.5 years. All that time, and what is he?
Crossword puzzles? No way. Come on, I thought you knew. I'm a Sudoku guy.
Agent
Sudoku.
Jones.
Oh, right.
He's
Es un
completely
poco
taking control of the
tontuno,
conversation.
El Simon este.
At this
Sí,
rate,
la
we'll never
verdad
get
que-
anywhere. I need to press him some more.
Contenido del maletín. No, pero... Mal, muy mal.
Agent Jones. The briefcase isn't even that big. How long does he intend to keep that up? Does he have pizza menus stuffed inside there or something? Agent Jones, did you find the files?
¿Por qué no los ha traído? Ah. Documento del caso Green Bay. Vale, esta es la ciudad del primer juego. Donde... Bueno, donde ocurrió la historia del primer juego, vaya. Y además es muy similar a lo que está ocurriendo en... Bueno, a los asesinatos de Le Carré. Agente encargado Francis Zack Morgan.
Mr. Morgan, do you recognize these files? Everything should be fine now. I'm sorry for being so careless. I made sure to read through your file and learn about your condition. The color red. Such an unusual thing to fear. Please, accept my deepest apologies.
I'm sorry too, Morgan. I don't know what I was thinking. I'll never touch one of your sanctuaries ever again. And no more red, either.
Ya la ha trastornado.
Don't ever touch one. I told them not to. Why would they do that? Make them go away. Sanctuaries. Don't touch. Stay away.
Now, may we return to our discussion?
Don't worry. I won't let them touch you again. I'll keep them away from us.
Strangely enough, this man has a fear of the color red. And I believe that fear is connected to the Greenville case.
Sí, cierto.
The files on the serial killings that shocked Washington State in 2010. Officially titled the Greenville case. I never thought I'd take out files from a case I first heard about on the news.
Hay más cosas aquí. Vaya, 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 vaya. Trituradora y superficie limpia.
Soon after Agent Jones started monitoring him, he was ordered to go through Morgan's trash, but he didn't find anything. Morgan used this machine to cut up everything, from his mail to his supermarket receipts. Then he even went as far as taking out his trash in parts. This is a very large shredder. Is there something you don't want people finding out?
Good, but we never know when some curious civil servants may come and sift through our trash now, do we?
You're already retired. What are you so worried about?
It's just a simple habit. From back when we were still on duty. Didn't they bang that into your head when you were up in Quantico? Some habits are hard to break, no matter how hard you try.
Vale, superficie limpia.
Here's another empty space.
Otro rincón
What does the
impoluto,
word
otro
sanctuary really hovels for pure souls?
Almas puras. Además todos tienen forma de triángulo siempre. Curioso.
Could you
los
tell me
santuarios.
what exactly the word sanctuary means to you?
Sanctuaries are nothing more and nothing less.
That doesn't
está.
explain anything.
Why do you wish to know?
Just curious.
Belle, you're a much ruder person than you initially seemed to be. Don't you agree, my fairy? What do our sanctuaries have to do with the investigation? If you're out of questions, then how about just going home?
Hey, mind if I jump in here?
A ver, ¿qué os
What
hace,
is it,
Bocachanclas?
Simon? We hope you've got a real question for us.
Well, actually, I'm also a little curious myself. No one's supposed to touch any sanctuary, right?
That's what we said.
What about you, though? You can't even touch them yourself? Are there any extenuating circumstances?
What are you getting at?
I mean, I doubt if any of this really matters, but if no one can touch the sanctuaries, how do you clean them?
Buena pregunta. Sí, señor. Ahí te ha pillado, majo. Hostias. Vale, caso Greenvale. No hay más.
Mr. Morgan, I'd like to ask you some questions about this case now.
We don't want to remember that town.
I'm sorry, but there's no way around this. I remember hearing about this case on the news when I was still a student. A high school girl named Anna Graham was murdered and the FBI stepped in to take over the case. I also remember it becoming a sprawled investigation due to evidence found in the victim's throat. Is that correct? After
Cierto.
that case, you went on sick leave for 2 years. And when you returned, you requested to be switched over to desk work. What happened?
That's a private matter. None of your business, Bill.
Were you traumatized? It's a common problem with prolific agents such as yourself. But there's another possibility that may make more sense. Perhaps you simply finished making preparations.
¿Qué insinúas?
What are you getting at?
Thinking too much about something will always turn it into a problem. The Greenvale case. Don't you think it resembles the Lucare case?
Read the report. We have nothing else to say.
I just need one more push. One more thing that can summon up the past.
Reloj de pulsera. Fotografía del informe.
Looks like another old antique. He collects milk cartons but treats valuable antiques like What's going on in his head?
Y esto es fragmento de panal. Reloj de pulsera.
The silver clock in that trash pile. Is that an
H5?
H5?
That's right. John Harrison's fifth chronometer. Completed in 1770.
Una antigüedad.
After many years, he completed it and presented it to the Board of Longitude. No, that's only a replica, of course.
Ah,
You like clocks?
Clocks are amazing. Prime fruit of the human intellect. We took the invisible idea of time and
Yeah, I love clocks too. Absolutely fascinating.
I disagree.
Oh? Why?
Time is valuable precisely because it can't be seen. Yet nowadays, people can't tell what time it is unless it's measured in numbers. I don't mean to side with the Board of Longitude, but remember, humans used to cross oceans with the stars alone. We have our eyes to read moon charts and study the sky. We don't need clocks.
What if it's cloudy or storming?
All you need is courage and a love for adventure.
Hear that, my fairy? Courage and a love for adventure?
esta es toda una Indiana Jones.
Come on, Belle. Surely you know how many lives have been claimed by your pals' courage and adventure.
Hey, hold on a second here. That board of longitude thing. I mean, I've heard of it before. I'm an analyst, remember? I just sort of can't remember it right now. I'm telling the truth. Come on, Aaliyah, back me up here.
Aaliyah. Pues no, no te lo voy a decir.
A jar of honey
Fragmento de
with
panal.
honeycomb inside it. There's nothing strange about it, but... Mr. Morgan, please look at this.
No, le quería preguntar por el panal. Demonios.
What did we just say? We don't want to remember Green.
This isn't a photo from Greenvale. Look closely at it.
Ah, ¿no?
Former Special Agent Francis Zach Morgan.
Sí, es una foto de Greenvale. Es donde apareció Ana.
This
muerta.
photograph predates Greenvale. It's from the Lucare case you worked on in 2005.
Ah, coño.
Red.
Pues es igual.
Red tree. Red tree.
Yes, a red tree. Greenvale wasn't the first place you saw one of these. The Greenvale case and the Lise Clarkson murder case. They're connected
¿En serio?
by these red trees. Aren't they?
Red trees. Both places. Growing. Roots. Seeds.
Answer me.
Es que las víctimas de los asesinatos de Greenvale tenían semillas rojas en la garganta. Todas ellas. Todas eran mujeres.
What
Chicas
are
jóvenes
these
y muy
trees?
atractivas.
Red trees. Figured.
I want the truth. Tell me everything you know.
The red trees. You really did your homework. Well done, Belle. You're good. Damn good.
Are you ready to talk now? I want to know what went down in Le Carré in 2005.
Fine. We'll tell you.
Por fin no lo va a
We'll
contar.
tell you what happened in that town. Yes.
Vale, vamos a saber qué ocurrió en Le Carré.
It was that red tree. That red tree ruined my life. It was... It was a sultry summer day. The sun comes down hard on you in the south, like a torrential downpour of demonic whispers. It all started back in that sweltering summer. We still had our best friend with us back then. The other me.
Mi mejor mitad.
My better half.
Francis George Morgan. Porque se hacía llamar así en el primer juego, ¿eh? No era Francis Zack Morgan, era Francis George Morgan. Y Zack era su alter ego. Sin embargo, aquí es Zack directamente.
Never a choice when somebody needs you.
Bueno, pues tenemos hemos tenido una introducción bastante larga, intentando averiguar
Just a hero.
bueno, pues cómo vive Zack en su apartamento, enfermo por ese tumor cerebral supuestamente que tiene, recluido totalmente desde hace un montón de años. Ya he visto que es un adicto y un fanático a las películas. Y nada, pues teníamos que sacarle de su letargo y que nos ayude a averiguar qué es lo que ocurrió en esa ciudad de Carré con aquellos asesinatos que resolvió. y que ahora ha aparecido ese primer cadáver mutilado y congelado de esa primera víctima que nos encontramos. Una introducción. He querido intentar averiguar todo lo posible de la escena de la escena donde estábamos, del apartamento de Zack, y así pues no perdernos ningún detalle de lo que podamos llegar a averiguar. Estoy intentando bajar el volumen de la televisión porque me voy a quedar teniente. Lo tengo a tope de power, pero no me baja, tío. No sé qué demonio le pasa. Ahora, joder. Ahora sí me baja. Vale, perfecto. Pues que lo tenía a todo trapo. Uf, madre mía. Vale, las hojas del árbol rojo. Zack. Francis George Morgan. Ahora sí. Así es como se llamaba en el primer juego. Zack era su alter ego.
Can you hear me, Zack?
Contestar. ¿Cómo? ¿Contestar? Ah, vale. Tiene que seleccionarlo.
There you are, Zack.
Un poco...
Sleeping again?
Es un poco rarito nuestro
Well,
protagonista.
rise and shine. It's time for us to head back out into the chaos.
Bueno, ya habéis visto que Alaya dijo que tenía doble personalidad múltiple. Y es más que evidente
Isn't that right?
el hecho de que tiene
Zack?
doble personalidad. Bueno, ¿qué? ¿Nos despertamos, Zack, o te vas a quedar empanado ahí mirando las hojas del árbol? Deadly Premonition 2. A Blessing in Disguise. 2005. Verano. Le Carré, Luisiana.
Zack, it looks like she wants us to join her for breakfast. Perhaps this town's finally starting to warm up to us.
Francis George Morgan.
Look at that, Zack. She's welcoming us with open arms.
O sea que si presiono A es para saltar la cinemática, tal vez. Bueno, ¿quieres saber sobre la víctima? O sea, ¿qué sabes sobre la víctima, perdón? ¿Quiénes son los Clarkson, perdón? ¿Qué hace la policía local? Eso es todo, gracias. Pues... sí, vamos a averiguar. ¿Qué sabes sobre la víctima?
You said the victim was a 16-year-old. Did you know her?
Well, sure. I reckon the whole town did.
Meaning?
She's Lise Clarkson, the little grandbaby of the Clarkson family.
The Clarkson family?
That's right. You ain't seen they sign on your way in here? The one above that huge cold storage complex. Should have had a dragonfly on it. Anyway, that's the Clarkson family seal. They own most of the land around here, from the sugar plantations right down to the food processing. Yeah, I reckon they got a stake in just about everything. They even own the water tower on the edge of town, you know? They're the ones who built up this town, and they still support it.
Vale. ¿Quiénes son los Clarkson?
What do you know about the Clarksons' house?
Now, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna talk straight to you. That family ain't just some gang. They're they folks with real power. Remnants of the good old boys who shaped America, especially the head of the family, P.J. Clarkson. He's the kind of monster, and I'm sure he's on edge now with his granddaughter getting murdered and all. So don't go barging in with that shiny FBI badge of yours and think you'll be safe for nothing. Things are different down here. So if you plan on sticking around, you best remember that.
I see. I'll keep...
Vale. De la policía local.
Is the local law enforcement
Shoot, mister, what you think? Now, I told you this ain't no city. They got to know how to break up fights and keep folks from killing each other when they sit down and talk it out with you heart to heart. And that's the deep south for you. This murder ain't like that, though. A little kid got killed. A weird way. Like something on the TV. The sheriff's department ain't never seen nothing like this.
Nueva Orleans.
Live and Let Die, Angel Heart.
Ah, películas que se han hecho en Nueva Orleans. Vive y deja morir, Corazón del Ángel. Vale, ya está haciendo las referencias a películas.
And The Pelican Brief.
El informe
Right?
pelícano.
9 out of 10 people will name those titles when you ask them to think of a film set in New Orleans.
Claro.
They're all excellent movies, but to me they lack realism. Due to my line of work, I have a tendency to think deeply about what feels real and what doesn't.
Hostia, pues El Corazón del Ángel es un peliculón, cuidado.
What's your point?
Cat People.
El beso de la pantera.
That's my point. Cat People. 1982, directed by Paul Schrader, the crowning achievement of Nastasia Kinski, the ultimate muse of the 80s. The most vital element of that movie is the reality it depicts. Leopards who turn into humans have intercourse with humans and turn back into leopards. Then they can only turn back into humans again. I was awestruck by the sheer reality of it all. Understand? I'm talking about hyper-realism. After watching it, I felt like I just had to experience the world of cat people. That's why I decided to visit New Orleans.
Okay.
Another vital element of cat people is the presence of Malcolm McDowell. Malcolm McDowell from Blue Thunder. Oh, talk about a masterpiece. Listen carefully, David. Only an amateur would call A Clockwork Orange his best movie.
Su mejor obra es La Naranja Mecánica. ¿Solo un amateur? Pues yo opino que es su mejor obra, también, sinceramente. Pero bueno,
his best
entonces
movies
soy un amateur.
are Cat People and Blue Thunder.
No estoy de acuerdo.
Period. You need to remember this, because it's the truth.
Whatever you say.
No estoy de acuerdo contigo, Francis George Morgan.
So,
La
what's your
Naranja
point again?
Mecánica es una obra de arte.
Never mind, don't worry about it. I already covered all the important parts.
Vale, un asesino macabro.
When you say it
Un
was like
asesinato
something
macabro.
from a TV show, what exactly do you mean?
Hey, mister, why do you look so excited, huh? Like a kid asking grandma to read him a fairy tale.
I just can't seem to keep myself away from young women who died in bizarre ways.
Well, I ain't seen it with my own eyes. But folks say and under that bridge, there was some kind of,
Un altar.
An altar?
like something they use in black magic. Something.
Voodoo?
Nah, wasn't nothing like that. Just a weird altar.
That's all?
Oh, and the body was all cut up in pieces.
So she was sacrificed.
That's what the fella who discovered her said.
Bingo, Zach. This case has got our names all
Se
over
ha
it.
mutilado y esparcido por todos lados. Joder, macho. Uf. Altar seguro. Qué macabro. Medio de transporte.
By the way, Mr. FBI, I ain't seen a car in the parking lot. How'd you get all the way out here, huh? Don't tell me you walked.
Well, that's a very good question. Chef David, you've got a sharp eye. It's true that I didn't park my car in your parking lot. Do you know why?
Can't say I do.
Because it was stolen.
Huh?
Coño.
But you with the FBI, right?
Even FBI cars can be stolen. It could happen after you park your car on the side of the road and go off to do some legwork. When you're eating lunch, when you're watching a movie, when you're asleep at night, when you're buying cigarettes at the local supermarket. Your car can be stolen anywhere. That's precisely what it means. In my case, my car was stolen while I was on my way down here. But no need to worry. I already reported it to the local authorities. And I've also already acquired another mode of transportation.
Another mode?
¿Así?
Want to hear the details?
Not really. But I'll listen if you want me to.
Then please do. After I finished my work in Houston, I flew to New Orleans. Then, I rented a car at the end. Whenever I visit the West Coast, I always rent a convertible, especially in California. But now I'm in hot and sticky Louisiana. So, I decided on a brand new hybrid car.
A hybrid car?
Oh yes, they're marvelous. Vehicles that utterly defy everything you think you know about cars. Now, in the year 2005, it feels like we finally stomp down on the gas all you want. The engine won't make a sound.
It's silent?
At first, I felt like the landscape was moving past me on its own. Give it a few more years, and I'm sure we'll start seeing cars that run purely, who knows? In a decade or so, electric sports cars may end up lining the parking lots of Silicon Valley. I can see it now. It's the world of The Last Starfighter. 1984, directed by Nick Castle. It's famous for being the first film to utilize realistic CG, but I couldn't care less about that. See, I was mesmerized by the beautifully refined mech designs. It even made me wish that I could be one of them myself. Especially the Gunstar spacecraft. No other sci-fi movie has ever had.
So, where'd your hybrid car get?
Sorry, I got off topic. I noticed it was missing after I finished my lunch and walked out of the... Incidentally, this diner was located at the entrance to a small town just south off the... I went out to get back in it, but my hybrid car was nowhere to be found. I remembered exactly where I parked it, right between a blue pickup truck, but when I came back from lunch, in short, someone stole it, and in its place, they left.
What?
Un patinete.
A skateboard.
Bueno, monopatín.
A skateboard?
Yes. While I was sliding my someone was busy replacing my brand new hybrid car. Remarkable, don't you think?
So then how did you get here?
By riding the skateboard, obviously. No, I couldn't ride the board very well at first. But by the time I hit the 3-mile mark, I'd more or less gotten the hang. By the 10-mile mark, I'd even learned to do a few tricks. It was a journey of self-discovery.
No me digas que nos vamos a mover por la ciudad en un monopatín. ¿En serio?
Not even I knew I had this latent talent sleeping inside me.
Flipante.
This summer's gonna be another hot one. It's supposed to get... Watch out you don't go getting heat stroke.
Felice Clarkson case needs us. Don't you think so, Zach? The cat people are what guided us to New Orleans. We should be thanking Malcolm McDowell. Once we get home, let's watch Blue Thunder again. I'm already looking forward to it. Aren't you, Zach? The searing light. These scents. It's the deep south. That was a fabulous breakfast. You're the...
Wait, mister. You didn't take a single bite.
Cierto.
The tea was to die for. But I'd prefer coffee next time. What would a morning be without coffee?
Adicto al café. Adicto al café. Ya en el primero... Joder, hostia, sus tazas de café... No podía dejarlas pasar, ¿no? Vale, pues sí que es verdad que estaba de paso, estaba de vacaciones en Nueva Orleans y se ha encontrado con todo el percal del asesinato de la nieta de ese poderoso dueño del lugar, de todo el pueblo, vamos. Vale, nueva misión disponible. Vale, ya podemos movernos libremente. ¿Qué vamos, en pijama? ¿Qué hacemos en pijama, tío? ¿Qué quieres vestirte? Vale, dejadme que eche un vistacillo. Vale, comienza la investigación. Vuelve a la habitación del hotel y repasa la información sobre el caso. Lugar, habitación del hotel. Vale. No tenemos nada más. Menú, no puedo acceder al menú de momento. A ver, no. El pad no hace nada. Vale. Tutorial, habitación roja. La habitación roja te permite hacer varias cosas: consultar las misiones del diario, usar o tirar los objetos del inventario, consultar el mapa del pueblo, configurar el sonido, volver a la pantalla del título, ver la fotografía de flores de lis, consultar los tutoriales de la guía, consultar tu datos personal y estadísticas y consulta el diagrama. Habitación roja. Ah, vale, puedo acceder ya directamente aquí a la habitación roja. Estupendo. Diario y datos personales. Inventario. Diario, a ver, diario. No, perdón. Tiene que darle a la diario. Vale. Cuando no sepas qué hacer a continuación, puedes consultar los detalles de las misiones pendientes. Las misiones principales se muestran en un árbol y las misiones secundarias y recados en una lista. Vale. Principales solo tenemos una, que es la que... sí, la de la habitación del hotel. Sí. Vale, solo tenemos una, pues ya está. Datos personales. Maletín. Consumo. Tenemos botiquín pequeño, botiquín mediano, suero antiparálisis, suero antiveneno. Medicina antigripal. Varios. Balas de goma. Cigarrillo suave, cigarrillo normal. Yo adoro esta marca de tabaco, por no utilizar durante un rato. Vale, cigarrillo normal. Salgo a dormir. Sirvo a dormir a la gente. Su material barato y poco duradero. Café con leche. Bueno, esto es para... El tabaco lo que hace al fumarlo es... hace que pase el tiempo, hace que pasen las horas más rápido. Bueno, el café, pirulete y demás, pues te da energía, te da vida. Vaya. Si te quita salud de un enemigo, pues te tomas un café, una piruleta, una galleta, lo que sea, los consumibles que vayas adquiriendo y recuperas vida. Vale. Esencial. El monopatín. Solo tenemos el monopatín. Vale. ¿Qué dice? Permite moverse más rápido que a pie. Hombre, evidentemente. Sellos. Vale, estos son coleccionables. Vale, nada. Vale, de momento no tenemos mucho más. Inventario. El inventario permite usar y tirar los objetos que tiene. En principio solo puede llevar encima 30 objetos, pero es posible aumentar el espacio disponible de cierta forma más adelante. Pulsa A para usar un objeto o X para tirarlo. No podrás recuperar lo que tienes, así que ten cuidado. Vale, balas de goma, munición especial de Caimanator, sirve para repeler, no para matar. Balas de goma, sobre todo balas de goma. Botiquín pequeño, vale, esto también te recupera vida. Refresco, cigarrillos suaves, vale, todo esto es lo que tenemos aquí. Vale, sí. Y poco más. Datos personales, sí, diario, inventario, sí, un poco más. Vale, pues con la X accedemos al inventario. Con la Y no hacemos nada, con la A tampoco y con la B tampoco. Y con L nada, R nada, ZL nada y ZR nada. De momento, ah, sí, mira. Ah, con ZR, tío, para pelearse. Qué guay, qué chulo. Bueno, pues vamos a dejar aquí el capítulo. Ha sido un capítulo largo que lo voy a dejar en una sola parte. Es un capítulo largo, 1 hora y 20 aproximadamente de capítulo. Lo voy a dejar en una sola parte, no quiero dividirlo porque casi 1 hora ha sido la introducción del juego. Casi 1 hora del capítulo ha sido la introducción del juego y creo que no es conveniente partir la introducción del juego en 2 vídeos. Lo mejor es verla del tirón. Repito que he querido investigar todo lo posible en esa introducción, sobre todo agentes del FBI, y para saber por qué está Francis George Morgan en la situación en la que está, enclaustrado en su casa, y que nos ayudase en la investigación de estos asesinatos de NKR. Así que por mi parte nada más, un título muy especial por mi parte. Ya habéis visto que, bueno, pues técnicamente, gráficamente no es nada del otro mundo, pero seguro que la historia os va a convencer muchísimo. A mí, de momento, me está convenciendo. Creo que nos lo vamos a pasar muy bien con este título, con un personaje con el que vamos a empatizar seguro, unos personajes que vamos a conocer muy extraños también, seguramente igual que en el primer juego, y que, repito, espero que disfrutéis conmigo de esta aventura en estos capítulos que os voy a subir de este fantástico Premonition 2. Así que por mi parte nada más, espero que os haya gustado, ya sabéis, like y favoritos en el vídeo, dislike si no, y nos vemos en el siguiente capítulo de Deadly Premonition 2. Por cierto, antes de despedirme, agradeceros, creo que no lo he dicho al principio del vídeo, lo digo ahora, agradeceros que estéis al otro lado de la pantalla viendo el vídeo, viendo la serie, y ya sabéis que si os gusta el contenido solo tenéis que hacer clic en un like, suscribiros al canal y activar las notificaciones haciendo clic también en la campanita que tenéis justo al lado de la suscripción. Así estaréis al tanto de todos los vídeos que vaya subiendo al canal, por supuesto. Y ahora sí, me despido de vosotros, un saludo chicos, cuidaros y sed felices.